believe me, I have friends who have relationships like that, and those guys are fucking miserable because like their girl just.
We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war.
So the thing is, I had a relationship in 2018 to 2019, and it was terrible. So I've experienced like what an absolutely terrifying relationship can look like. And then after that, I basically was like not ready for emotions, not ready for feelings. There's some stuff I need to heal. And I had a house in the Hollywood Hills. And this is actually around the time I discovered the effectiveness of sushi sometime, because, you know, it's like, especially when you're a guy who has like a nice apartment or a nice house with a hot tub and, you know, a pool, and like you can just say sushi sometime, and then the girl comes to your house, you spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes eating sushi, drinking wine, you spend 40 minutes in the hot tub, and then you have sex. And it's like you literally sent 3 messages and spoke, you know, less than 5 minutes of the night, while she's spending the other, you know, 2 hours talking. And so I went through that, and there were a couple things that I think struck me going through that phase of like just pure sex optimization, which was like, I just noticed, and I'd actually always noticed my body's response to casual sex, which just was never like that good. It just was like, I just either had shitty feelings about it. I would just feel like, I don't know if the right feeling is empty, but it just felt like my body didn't like it. It just felt like, you know, I just met this girl, and here I am doing the most intimate act 2 humans can do together. I'm wasting creative energy that I could be using in my business. And then I started just thinking about like these girls, and, you know, really thinking about them and the types of girls I was attracting. Like, they were hot, definitely, but I'm even thinking right now, like some of these girls just, you know, one of them I'm thinking in particular is like super hot, and super hot blonde chick. Mom was like crazy alcoholic, abusive, left when she was really young. Dad is like pretty young. Like they had her when they were like 20, 21 years old. And her dad has like a super young girlfriend and is always having different young girlfriends. And like, she likes her dad, but he's always like bringing different girls home. And it's just like, I don't know, I started thinking about that and like, damn, like this isn't like the more girls I met like that and realized like these girls that I'm hooking up with, like, and it's just not leading to anything, it's degenerate, you know? And then I think another, so basically what happened was I had this realization, like this hookup culture thing, especially in LA, is very degenerative in the sense that like it doesn't lead to anything good. It just leads to the same patterns that like these girls that I was hooking up with, like if they don't change something in the guys that they're selecting, or if we as men don't change and lead a different way, then what does this lead to? It leads to more broken families, more alcoholic, abusive moms, more unwanted pregnancies. Like, like it doesn't lead anywhere. So then what happened was, after that, I moved back to Boston, and I went back into monk mode, where basically I was just alone with my friend, you know, my roommate who's also in monk mode, and my friends in Boston, and my parents are pretty close by. But Boston is like, for guys like us, like you're probably not really gonna meet a girl that is like stunningly gorgeous, that has the other qualities that you might want to date. And so I wasn't dating like at all. I would make trips, like I flew to Miami, I flew to LA like once a month or so. And there were a couple, like I think there were a couple like important life moments. One was just like realizing I was going at business so hard. Like, I mean, like I recently rebooted my old phone and saw like my screensaver, and it was like fuck you January was my that was like my thing I did at the start of last year. And it was like wake up, meditate 20 minutes, juve 20 minutes, work out relentlessly, work like sunrise to sunset and like into the hours. Like I had this like extremely strict monk mode protocol. I just started, I was doing it. And like, I love my work. I love my business, but I started to just get a little bit lonely. Like, and I started to think like about the relationship that I had in 2018 that was like really bad. And I was like, fuck, did that fuck me up? Like, all I can do now is just like have casual sex. And I was like, damn, like, wouldn't it be nice to just have a girl that supported you, that was like a healthy relationship? And, I started thinking of some of my friends that had healthy relationships. And then I got invited to 2 weddings of my friends. My friend Ken, who's in college, we kind of made fun of him because he's like a very, we called him dad. He's like so extremely responsible, even at like 16 years old. And then in college, he was even more responsible. Like he was a real estate agent, like when he was 18, and rented all of our apartments for us in college. And then he got married at 22. And the wedding, they waited until after the pandemic to have the wedding. So that was last October. And I went to that. And then my other friend, Quasi, Joe here, who maybe some of you guys know, he's pretty big in the, course coaching space.
The clever programmer guy?
What's that?
Is this the programming guy?
No, his name's Quasi Joe here. He has a coaching business, essentially like business coaching for people, like mindset business coaching. He makes like 200-300K a month. He crushes it. And he's got, he does well, and he's very at peace. And so I went to his wedding, and I went to Ken's wedding, and I was like, wouldn't it be nice if you could just be happy, like with just one girl? And like, I just saw like they were so happy. And my friend Ken at the wedding gave me a piece of advice. I don't even remember why. I didn't like ask him for advice or anything, but he was like, you just have to be intentional with it. And that's when I realized that, if you guys have gone through week 2 of Tribe Accelerator, you know how into goal setting I am. I realized that the goals I was setting with women were basically, I want, like in college, my goals were literally like, I want 2 to 3 casual sex partners per week. That was what I was optimizing for. And then after that, I was like optimizing for like, I want to fuck 9s and 10s all the time. That's like what it was. And I was like, okay, maybe that's why I'm not attracting like a good relationship, is because that's the only thing that I care about. So I changed it to, and another thing I saw was Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone. I just saw them on Instagram, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And like, I didn't necessarily know if I really wanted like a power couple type thing, because, and then I was also watching a lot of like red pill stuff as well, and Tate stuff. And I was like, there's got to be a good balance that's like fits for me. So I was like, in my mind and goal definition, I essentially wrote that I wanted to start dating and attracting my like equivalent superwoman. Like I think I literally wrote like Elena Cardone like superwoman. And then I wrote exactly what I wanted the relationship to be like. And I still have all of that, of course. Yes, like superwoman, building an incredible life together. I'm the dominant leader in the relationship. We're an incredible team. We fit together perfectly. It's easy to flirt together. Sexual chemistry is incredible. We have incredible conversation. She's extremely supportive and sees my potential and helps me win daily. She treats me like a king. She brings me gifts. She surprises me. She checks in on me. She shows her love for me through actions and communication. She's low maintenance and has her own goals. I'm incredibly secure in this relationship. She's incredibly secure and physically affectionate. Our relationship is simple and brings me peace and love and excitement. Our relationship is led by presence. My relationship is sexually exciting. Yeah. So yeah, so I just defined it very clearly. And then now that I had that in my mind, I was going on trips back and forth to LA. And I was also using Instagram, and I also, like, I had other girls that I had been talking to that I'd hooked up with in the past that I was kind of just texting. And you know, one girl, I was basically dating when I would go out to LA. I was visiting. I was dating Chloe and this other girl, who was like a model, like, and I was kind of like comparing. I sort of saw like two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I was like, this girl, like, not Chloe, who ended up picking, like, the girl, like, mom was like a super empowered, like, multi-millionaire boss woman, and dad, like, mom and dad divorced when she was relatively young, and talking to her, taking her on dates. I was asking about her relationship to her parents and her family, and she was like, yeah, my dad, like, I don't really respect him that much, like, he's X, Y, and Z, and like, my mom left him and he doesn't make a lot of money, and da, da, da. And while the girl was like super hot, and I kind of fantasized in my mind that she would look good with me, I then saw Chloe, and I was like, okay, Chloe, her dad has 7 siblings, and they all live within 10 minutes of each other in Los Angeles. She has 31st cousins. She doesn't drink or smoke or go out. She basically just hangs out with her family. And like, the second I would ask her to help me with something, she would help me instantaneously. Whereas the other girl, although she was like super hot and stuff, like, she was busy all the time because she's like an international model. And I was like, okay. And so I just started seeing Chloe more because I just started like connecting the dots of like, okay, that girl's hot, but doesn't really make my life better. She's just kind of like trying to be a career woman. And like, this girl, Chloe, is like just doing everything to help me, and like almost like a personal assistant. So I think that's like, and then obviously the rest is just the relationship phases that happen from there. Which again I'm happy to go into, but they're broken down in this video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty helpful because growing up, I always had like good, positive, like family, female role models, but getting into dating, it was all kind of through the pickup phase. So a lot of the women I'm meeting recently, I'm realizing that it's getting to a point where it's starting to make me lose the faith I once had in quality women.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of raised the red flags for me. It's like, yeah, I accomplished all these hookup goals I had, but it's like, at what cost at this point?
Yeah, that's another part of it too, is, and I think we alluded to it in the Soul Brawl podcast, was like, what are the downdraft effects on society we have as men, even in our individual decisions? Like, if we're solely optimizing for this, hedonistic, utopian, sex Damblesarian lifestyle, like, what message does that send to the few good girls out there? Like, really, it's like you're just like corrupting these girls that otherwise would be good. Now the thing is too, however, is like, the difference with a girl like Chloe, who is like the material that I'm sure a lot of you guys would want as a girlfriend, is like, she wouldn't respond to a Damblesarian request. Like, she's never been flown out anywhere. Like, I'm the first man to ever fly her somewhere, to ever pay for something for her, the first boyfriend she's ever had. So these girls do exist. It's just, I think, like, and I want to do some more deep thinking on this for you guys, but I'm sure, even just hearing this, it might help you as well in terms of like where to find these girls. What I can assure you is I can tell you where to not find them, like, you will not find them at a club, because, like, just think about it. It's like like if you want a girl that doesn't like to party and doesn't like to drink and do drugs, well, she's probably not at a club. So why are you thinking you're going to find your girlfriend at a club? Now, that being said, there's definitely some, there's caveats. Like my friend Jordan, who's with this girl, Bianca, who's amazing. Like they actually genuinely met at a club and now they have a baby and they have a great relationship. But, you know, in that sense, it's like a girl that you meet at a club is more likely to be the girl that, you know, wants to go out with her girlfriends without you a couple times a week. And like, believe me, I have friends who have relationships like that. And those guys are fucking miserable because like their girl just parties all the time. And like, what happens when a girl goes out who's hot? She gets hit on by, it's not even like, that's the thing. It's like not even really about whether you trust the girl or not. It's, do you trust guys? Because I don't trust myself. Like when I'm single, like my game is good. I don't give a fuck if that girl has a boyfriend. And even if she loves him very much, like I'm going to get her drawn to me, you know? So, yeah. Did I answer your question fully? Hope you're enjoying this channel and these videos. If you like them, you can subscribe right here. There's a whole playlist about how to build a social circle from scratch right here with really high quality content. And then right here, you can learn about how I help men in Tribe Accelerator build a circle from scratch of high value men and women.